The story begins long before the dense canopies of the Congo rainforest whispered of secrets, before the rivers shimmered beneath the equatorial sun, and before the world's attention turned to Africa as the cradle of ancient mysteries. It begins in the arid hills of the ancient Middle East, among a people swept by tides of history and longing, a people who would one day become known far from their homeland as the Lost Tribe. Legend, oral tradition, and persistent clues point to a remarkable journey. Across the ages, the children of Israel carried with them a heritage of faith, ritual, and memory. Among the 12 tribes, some were scattered far and wide, vanishing, it would seem, from the annals of history. Yet, as centuries unfolded, echoes of their presence emerged in the most unexpected places, thousands of miles from Jerusalem. In the heart of Africa, amid the emerald jungles and winding rivers of the Congo basin, explorers, missionaries, and anthropologists began to hear rumors of a people whose traditions bore uncanny resemblance to Hebrew customs. These stories wove their way through villages and across generations. Who were these people? And what had brought them so far from the land of Abraham? To understand how a lost tribe of Israel could have migrated to the Congo, one must first turn to the events that set the Israelites on their long and winding dispersal. History records the destruction of the first temple in Jerusalem in the 6th century BCE, the Babylonian exile, and subsequent foreign conquests. During these turbulent times, entire populations were uprooted. Some were forced into exile, others fled, seeking refuge in distant lands. The biblical record, along with other ancient sources, hints at migrations east into Persia, south into Arabia, and west toward Africa. Among these scattered groups, the tribe of Levi, revered for its priestly lineage, features prominently in many oral traditions. Some accounts suggest that members of this tribe, or others among the lost 10 tribes, journeyed south through the Arabian Peninsula, crossed the Red Sea, and entered the continent of Africa. Along the way, they may have mingled with local populations, but they clung tenaciously to certain rituals, symbols, and beliefs, fragments of their ancient identity. As centuries passed, the memories of their origins faded from all but the most steadfast keepers of tradition. Yet, in the Congo, echoes of their past would not be silenced. Visitors to the region, beginning in the colonial era and continuing into the present day, have documented a remarkable array of customs among certain tribes, customs that bear the unmistakable imprint of Hebrew influence. One of the most striking clues is the ritual of circumcision. While this practice is found in various cultures around the world, the manner and significance attached to it among some Congolese tribes closely mirrors that of ancient Israel. The timing, ceremonial language, and spiritual meaning all point to a shared root. Elders recount the commandment given by God to Abraham, a story passed down with reverence and awe. Dietary laws, too, reveal a connection. There are communities in the Congo that abstain from eating certain animals, pork, shellfish, and others, following prohibitions that echo those of the Torah. Ritual slaughter, performed with a sharpened blade and accompanied by prayers, reflects the kosher laws of the Israelites. These foodways are not merely practical, they are imbued with spiritual significance, honoring a covenant made long ago. The weekly observance of a day of rest, marked by the lighting of lamps, special meals, and songs of praise, stands as another testament to this shared heritage. Known locally by various names, this day is set aside from ordinary labor. Families gather, elders bless the children, and the community comes together in gratitude and reflection. In the melodies sung and the prayers recited, Hebrew words occasionally surface, preserved phonetically despite centuries of linguistic change. Gravestones in some villages are adorned with 6-pointed stars, an emblem recognized the world over as the Star of David. while its use in the Congo predates the modern Zionist movement. Local artisans carve the symbol with care, explaining that it represents divine protection and the unity of heaven and earth. In some cases, skull caps reminiscent of the yarmulke are worn during prayer, and sacred texts are stored in ornate arks, recalling the Ark of the Covenant. The oral histories of these tribes are perhaps the most compelling evidence of all. Elders recount tales of ancestors who journeyed from a land to the north and east, a land of deserts and rivers where a great temple once stood. They speak of a time when their forebears crossed a vast sea, wandered through unfamiliar territories, and finally settled in the rich forests and savannas of Central Africa. These stories, passed down from parent to child, are told with solemnity and pride, even as the details shift through the generations. In the 20th century, as scholars began to document these traditions, genetic studies provided new tools for probing the mysteries of identity and migration. Among the Lemba people of southern Africa, whose oral traditions closely parallel those of Hebrew descent, researchers discovered a genetic marker known as the Cohen modal haplotype. This marker is associated with the Jewish priestly class, the Kohanim, and its presence in the Lemba, particularly among the Buba clan, offered scientific affirmation of their ancient claims. While the Lemba are concentrated further south, their story echoes that of similar communities in the Congo, a journey from Israel through Yemen and into the heart of Africa. The Lemba are not alone. Scattered across the continent, from the Ethiopian highlands to the jungles of Central Africa, other groups maintain threads of Hebrew tradition. The Beta Israel of Ethiopia, the Bnei Menashe of India, and certain Tutsi clans in Rwanda and Burundi all claim descent from the lost tribes. Each community has its own unique narrative, shaped by geography and history, but united by a persistent sense of connection to the people of Israel. In the Congo, the legacy of these ancient migrants is woven into the very fabric of daily life. Rituals marking birth, marriage, and death reflect a worldview shaped by the Hebrew scriptures. Festivals coincide with the lunar calendar, echoing the timing of Passover, Rosh Hashanah, and Sukkot. Priests don special garments, embroidered with symbols whose meaning traces back to the vestments of the Levites. Sacred objects, ram's horns, menorahs, and scrolls, are carefully preserved, their origins explained in tales that blend legend and history. Yet, for all these outward similarities, the passage of time has left its mark. The original language has faded, replaced by Bantu dialects and the tongues of neighboring peoples. Hebrew prayers are recited in fragments, their meaning sometimes obscured, but their cadence unmistakable. The great temple of memory stands only in stories, its physical location lost to the jungle of time. The question of how these communities sustained their identity across millennia is one that has fascinated scholars and storytellers alike. Some point to the power of ritual, the ability of repeated actions to shape memory and reinforce belonging. Others highlight the role of elders, whose authority rests on their knowledge of tradition and their commitment to passing it on. Still others emphasize the resilience of faith, a faith that endures even in the face of displacement, persecution, and change. For the people themselves, these questions are often secondary to the lived reality of their heritage. In remote villages, children are taught to respect the Sabbath, to honor their parents, and to seek justice and mercy. The stories of Moses, David, and Solomon are recited alongside local heroes and ancestors, blurring the line between biblical and tribal history. In recent decades, as global interest in the Jewish diaspora has grown, some members of these Congolese communities have sought to reconnect with the broader Jewish world. Pilgrimages to Israel, formal conversions, and exchanges with rabbis and scholars have brought new awareness and affirmation. For many, these encounters are a source of pride, validation, and spiritual renewal. For others, They raise complex questions of identity, belonging, and recognition. The story of a lost tribe vanishing into the Congo, leaving Hebrew clues in its wake, is not a tale of disappearance, but of transformation. It is a testament to the enduring power of memory, the resilience of faith, and the universality of the search for home. Across continents and centuries, the children of Israel have wandered, settled, and adapted. Yet the echoes of their journey continue to resound in songs, symbols, and stories. To walk through a Congolese village on the eve of the Sabbath is to witness this legacy firsthand. As the sun sets, families gather in mud brick homes, sharing a meal of roast goat and unleavened bread. Lamps flicker in the dusk, casting shadows on walls adorned with stars and menorahs. The elders bless the children, invoking the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Outside, the jungle hums with life, oblivious to the ancient drama unfolding within. In these moments, the boundaries between past and present, Africa and Israel, legend and history, blur into a single, luminous truth that a people can journey across deserts and oceans, through exile and assimilation, and still carry with them the flame of their beginnings. As the world turns its gaze to the Congo, seeking to unravel the mysteries of lost tribes and hidden histories, the people themselves continue to live their story. Their rituals, songs, and stories are not relics of the past, but living expressions of hope, identity, and belonging. In every circumcision performed, every prayer recited, every star carved into stone, the legacy of the ancient Israelites endures. Adapted, transformed, and yet unmistakably present. From the hills of Jerusalem to the forests of the Congo, the journey of the lost tribe is a reminder that history is not only recorded in books, but inscribed in the hearts and practices of those who remember. It is a journey marked by loss and longing, but also by resilience and renewal. And as long as the stories are told, the rituals observed, and the symbols cherished, the vanished tribe will never truly be lost. The search for these lost tribes is more than an academic endeavor. It is a quest for understanding the ways in which cultures persist, adapt, and find meaning across time and space. It is a testament to the human capacity for connection, the drive to remember, and the hope that no matter how far we wander, we are never truly alone. As the Congo's rivers flow toward the sea, carrying with them the memories of countless generations, so too does the story of the lost tribe flow through the currents of history, sometimes hidden, sometimes revealed, but always present, waiting to be discovered anew. The journey began with exile and ends with homecoming, not always to a physical place, but to a sense of identity, purpose, and belonging that transcends borders and generations. In the heart of Africa, beneath the ancient trees and endless sky, the legacy of the lost tribe endures, a living testament to the enduring power of faith, memory, and the human spirit. And if you're still here, maybe your soul just got touched in the deepest place. At Tales of Black, every story is a ritual, a reminder that some memories are not written in books, but in bone and blood. If this story stirred something in you, share it with someone still wandering. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what comes next. And if there's a legend, a memory, or a haunting you want told, leave it in the comments. Maybe your story is the next one summoned in the ritual.